Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, that's right, we're going to be talking about and going over Gauss Prime. We're going to start off just by showing off some gameplay, going over how he works, and then after we'll go over his build that I'm using for this video that I tend to use right now for my Gauss Prime. We're going to go over his build, his abilities, all of that, and then just talk about him a little bit and how you might want to build him if you're playing Gauss. But hey, you can always build him differently. It's not a big deal either way. So this is Gauss Prime, right? Very good frame, very fun. How he works is you become kind of like a Volt, right? You run around, quickly attack everybody, and you do AoE damage with your third ability. You do some defensive damage reduction with your second ability, and all of it relies on you constantly moving and having that meter in the bottom right constantly going forward and pretty much just never running out. So you don't want to stand still like I was there to like shoot or anything. Not a good idea overall. You want to remember to recast your second ability when it runs out, because that's your like damage reduction shield. So that's kind of an important thing to do. Once your ult kind of wears off and your red line goes down, you can spam your first ability and then you can recast your fourth ability and then you get your speed bonus back. Gauss Prime is, or I guess Gauss is kind of a weird frame in the sense that Gauss uses his duration as kind of like a pseudo strength play for his fourth ability. So you don't actually need like a ton of strength, oddly enough. But it really depends on what your build's going for. Oh no, I messed up because I zeroed out on my red line and then lost it all. That's the annoying thing sometimes if you're not paying attention. And then you lose it all. Tragic. But I can get good buffs off my third ability, right? Not the worst at all. As long as you keep moving, you're usually okay. I usually play public, so I don't have all of the attention and fire on me. So usually, you know, not really a big deal with Gauss. You want to generally stay running around. Make sure you're not staying stagnant for too long. And you can always use your mock rush to get your meter back up, right? So it's not the worst. If I wanted to add more defenses, I'd probably add stuff like rolling guard, or probably not adaptation just because of how his DR is. But stuff like rolling guard usually. Yeah, why not? I always love rolling guard on my frames. This is Gauss Prime overall. He's a nice frame. I think I have like 150% ability usage on him. So yeah. I think you can also tap your third ability. Yep. To do your quick little bonus there. And also gain a lot more red line bonus, but hey, it's up to you. I always like to mash the first ability as well. And then you want to cool it down so it's not too red line. You don't want to bottom out again. So that's how you play Gauss. You just constantly jump between using all the abilities, kill all the enemies. It's a pretty nice way to play. Of course, if you're doing publics, you'll have less of the enemy fire on you, so it'll be a little easier to run around and survive. But you know how it is. Always just run rolling guard or a different defensive ability if you so need it, and then you should be good to go, you know? My red line bottomed out that time. But yeah, that's Gauss Prime. New speedy boy, fast frame for everyone to enjoy. So I feel like Gauss Prime came to the game and then became the like #1 selling Warframe, because I think Steam hit like #1 top seller there for a while. So I'm blaming that purely on the Gauss Prime hype. 100%. And if you think otherwise, yeah, who knows? But you get really good general speed when you play Gauss Prime. That's why I like using him, right? Oh, look at that melee. There, now we'll get some actual speed on our melee. Yeah, look at that. That's the good stuff right there. So it's just a nice time to spin to win with him. He's a good fast frame. He's generally really strong for Steel Path. The only thing I'd swap out is, again, I'd probably put on rolling guard over one of his other random mods if I was really caring about defenses, but I'm not caring about defenses too much on a frame like Gauss because of the damage reduction second ability. But hey, we'll go over the abilities after. and then you can judge for yourself whether you agree or not. But that is general gameplay of Speedy Boy Gauss Prime. Definitely one of the fan favorite Warframes right now, especially money-wise. Dear God, people spend so much money, and that's how it shot Warframe up to #1. So good for them, selling so many Gauss Prime accesses that the game was just popping off. But yep, yeah, it's just how it goes. So I'm using my new mic. I don't know if you've noticed, so I definitely sound a little different. Might eventually get a different mixer, but I'm chose the Go XLR to mess around with for now. But hey, my mic has any like random issues randomly, so sorry. So that's how you play Gauss Prime, at least how I play him. Let's take a quick look at Gauss Prime abilities. Passives: moving generates an electrical currents that fills Gauss battery shields, recharge up 120 faster, while the recharge delay is up to 80% shorter based on battery level. TLDR, you get your shield faster and easier. Your first ability is a run, does AoE explosive damage, hold it to rush continuously, right? Throws enemies around. Pretty good 10 out of 10 wood mock rush again. This builds off strength, and then I think duration and efficiency help the drain per second a lot, and I have a lot of duration. Your second ability is damage reduction and energy conversion. Ooh, generate armor plating that converts a portion of absorbed kinetic energy, physical, heat, cold, blast, into energy. Protects Gauss from being staggered or knocked down. Damage resistance is relative to battery level. So this is essentially a passive. You hit it and then just keep it on. That's why you always want to have your battery level at a high level so that you always have your damage reduction at 100%. If you're really good at always having your damage reduction at 100%, you're pretty much like pretty invincible, so you're good to go there. Your third ability is Thermal Sunder. You can either hit it to do AoE cold, or you hold it to inflict AoE heat, or the other way around. Either way, heat, I believe, charges battery, and then cold doesn't, or it's the other way around. Wait, siphon kinetic energy from area, charging the battery and inflicting cold status on nearby. Hold reverses. Okay, yeah, tap for cold, recharge battery, hold for heat, drain battery a little bit. Okay, the damage on it's nothing amazing. It builds off strength, but it is a good buffer if you throw on thermal transfer and you have that for your team. So extra damage is nice. And then your final ability, Redline. One thing that you need to know about it is like all of that, the fire rate, attack speed, reload speed, casting speed, all of that scales off duration, because why not, right? Other than that, he builds off strength, but you want a lot of duration because Redline builds off duration, so lol. Let's see. Push Gauss battery beyond the Redline, supercharging his abilities and setting fire rate, attack speed, reload speed, and casting speed into overdrive. When past the Redline, bolts of arcing electricity dance periodically from Gauss, exploding in mass when the ability is deactivated. Yeah, so he's a really good Warframe, pretty much just a strong, awesome variant of Volt in one way or another. You just have a ton of attack speed, reload, casting, fire rate speed. It's great. You want to look at the tips, pretty simple. Mock Rush impact, slash damage, nice. Mock Rush absorbs element of Thermal Sunder, crosses through, awesome. Use Thermal Sunder to chill enemies, and then you can heat them. Yep. Casting opposite Thermal Sunder effects on enemies suffering heat or cold will do blast damage. Yep. Mock Rush consumes half as much energy when redlining, hype. When redlining with kinetic plate active, melee attacks inflict extra damage and stagger enemies. Hell yeah. Melee frame go burr. That's why I said spin to win, baby. Thermal Sunder gains additional properties when Redline is active. Cold freeze enemy solid, heat does additional damage, and blast will strip armor. So Redline OP. Yep. Easily maintain Mock Rush momentum by switching to the move forward button, then releasing the held ability button. Gauss can jump from ground while running with Mock Rush without canceling the dash. So that is ya boy Gauss Prime, how he works. Now let's take a quick look at the build I'm casually using. Not the most OP build or anything. This is a 0 defenses build. As always, like I was saying before, if you want more defenses, you could always swap out stuff like Augur Reach or Augur Secrets or Augur Message, the least consequential mods, for a more defensive setup via, I don't know if adaptation would be the call. I would still say like rolling guards, so you can have some seconds of invulnerability, but hey, I would probably just try to keep that up. And you can always toss out Constitution for something, but this is what my build is. It's going full duration with a little bit of range and strength, right? Because my other abilities do use a little bit of range, okay? A little bit, mainly Thermal Sunder, okay? And then the strength is just so that the damage of some of the abilities is a little higher. Kinetic plating builds up a little easier, so I don't get completely beat up. So it just makes things slightly nicer like that. I have molt efficiency. So usually if you're running solo, it's going to be a little more annoying and you definitely want to have rolling guard. But if you run it in a full team, you're not really going to have many issues because a lot of enemies are focusing on you and your team. So molt efficiency, while shields are active, gain ability duration per second for a maximum 36%. It's just a nice one to use. I have arcane energize because I'm lazy with energy, but you can swap this out with anything else you feel like. Maybe get some more strength on there, arcane grace. If you want more defensive stuff, you know, you can go with anything. Corrosive projection, so enemies lose armor. Cunning drift, just for a little bit more range. I think you can always throw on like power drift as well. If you want some more strength. I'm pretty casual with that. You can throw on anything realistically if you so choose. Prime continuity for duration, narrow-minded for duration, stretch for range, reach for range, augur message for duration, secrets for strength, and it also helps with converting shield over while I'm mashing Mock Rush and trying to build up my red line so I don't die. So yeah, it helps with that. Thermal transfer is just so that I can do damage buffs to myself and my team. See, your third ability gives you damage buff, so it also helps strength on there, which is why maybe you would choose to get rid of one of the like lower tier mods like Constitution and swap it out for a higher strength mod like Blind Rage or some other shenanigans. Yeah, it's always up to you, right? But this is my general Gauss Prime build for now. I like it and it works for me, but again, maybe swap out Constitution for some of that sweet rolling guard or any other type of defensive ability you so choose. But that's generally how I like to use Gauss right now. He's a fun frame that you use for speed to get through anything. He's very similar to Volt in that regard. And you know what? I fashion framed him a little bit with red, black, and blue, and I like how it turned out. I always like fashion framing just goofily anyway, so it's nothing too serious. So that's my Gauss. Let me know what you think, if you've been having a lot of fun, if you bought Gauss Prime, anything like that. Yeah, kind of curious. Either way, if you want to support the channel, you can like, subscribe, favorite, you know, comment down below anything about your sweet Lord and Savior, Gauss Prime. You can use Epic Games creator code Pupsker or follow any of the social medias in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you another time. Cheers.